May have fallen into the wrong hands. It's now over a week since the 9-year-old was reported missing by her mother after she failed to return home from school in Dewsbury. Former detective and criminologist Mark Williams-Thomas looks at the search for Shannon.
The key to finding Shannon lies here at her family's address and in the streets around here. What made her on that evening not come home? Where is she now? The police will be looking at her family, her extended members of family, friends at school. Indeed, they'll be looking at her whole past, examining her computer, her home address. Some of the addresses around here are being searched, building up that picture. It's a vital piece of evidence that they're looking for, that tiny piece of the jigsaw that puts the whole investigation back on track. Just behind me is Shannon's school. This is where she was last seen. She was dropped off just yards from here by a school coach. One theory the police have is that maybe Shannon fell into the wrong hands. Indeed, there's reports of an attempted abduction in Wakefield of a young schoolgirl on exactly the same day. The police are urging anybody, have you seen that school coach on that day? Were you in the locality?
And Mark Williams-Thomas joins me now from Dewsbury. Mark, good morning to you. What do you think will be the main focus of the police investigation now?
Good morning, Andrew. Well, the police are very clearly saying that the clues lie here, in and around the area of Dewsbury. Yes, they've extended the search slightly further. They've extended it by looking at possible offenders, particularly if Shannon has fallen into the wrong hands. But they're still very, very confident that the clues lie around here, which is why they are continuing to appeal to members of the public to provide any information, anybody acting strange, any information about the extended family, and indeed anybody that they've seen, not just on the day, but in the weeks and the months previously.
And much attention on friends and family if you're talking about a locally focused investigation. Shannon's mum, Karen, has 7 children by 5 fathers. Everybody's going to have to be looked at.
Absolutely. Any major investigation, the key to this is obviously Shannon, but then you need to build up a picture around Shannon. So that's everybody that has had contact with her. What made her decide to not come home on that day? Are there issues within the family? Indeed, are there issues with perhaps friends at school? Were there issues around there? So this is a very complicated and sometimes quite detailed approach that the police will need to take, and that takes time. 7 days on, and they'll be hoping for a breakthrough very soon.
And of course, they're beginning to release more and more information, the police as well, haven't they? They've released a picture of the coach that took Shannon and her classmates back to school, back from school.
Absolutely. There's 2 key places here. That's Shannon, where she lived, and obviously where she left in the morning, and then the school, which is where she was dropped off. They know that she actually came back from the leisure centre, where we know the CCTV pictures, and she was dropped off outside the school. So that's the last confirmed sighting from her. So what they've asked is for members of the public, anybody saw that coach, they need to hear from you, because it may well be that somebody else was hanging around that coach, sat in a car nearby. And often, members of the public don't think that perhaps the information they have is that vital. It's not for them to decide that. However irrelevant they think it is, if they saw that coach on that day, the police are urging them to get in contact.
OK, Mark, thanks ever so much for joining us this morning.